Today we find ourselves in Chapter 5, we're in Section 3, and we're talking about the United States Senate. A little different in structure than we're talking about when we were just talking about the House of Representatives. But the most important thing is to understand that the leadership in the Senate closely parallels the leadership of the House. The big difference is there's no Speaker of the House. The Vice President serves as the Senate's president, but is only there to vote in a tie-breaking situation, meaning that if the vote is split 50-50, the Vice President comes in as serves as the President of the Senate to cast that tie-breaking vote. I'm going to show you a couple examples of when that's happened in recent history. In the absence of the Vice President, the President pro temp is elected by the party majority, and he or she presides over the United States Senate. But the most important people, or the most important officers, are the majority and the minority leaders. Currently in the United States, the Republicans hold control of the Senate, and the Senate Majority Leader, his name is Mitch McConnell. He is the senior senator from the state of Kentucky, a conservative state. The Senate Minority Leader in the Democratic Party, it comes from the great state of New York. His name is Chuck Schumer. Again, because the Democrats are the minority of the party, he now is just the minority leader. If the Democrats would take back the Senate, then he would be the majority leader, most likely, because he would have to be voted on by his peers. Representatives, because each state gets an equal representation, a majority of the senators represent a small minority of the population. And why is that important? As you think about states like California and New York and Texas, they get the same amount of representation as the states that have much lower populations, so states like Rhode Island or North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming. So the senators actually represent a smaller amount of people in those rural states. So the representation is not the same, because remember, the Senate was originally thought of to be the representation of the states. It doesn't change until the constitutional amendment that comes out that says that we could vote directly for our senators, and that's coming out during the Progressive era. The Senate deliberates and formally discusses public policies, and the Senate rules are more flexible, allowing for all senators maximum freedom to express their ideas. Once they have the chance to get the floor and gain the floor, they don't lose that floor until they're done talking or they're done debating. So how a bill works. Procedures for moving the bill through the Senate are less formal than those in the House, which we've already discussed. The Senate brings a bill to the floor by unanimous consent. Through a filibuster, a single senator or a group of senators can prevent a bill from coming to a final vote. And senators can end a filibuster by voting for a cloture resolution. I'm going to show you a couple examples in the history of the filibuster. And what the filibuster is there's a silent filibuster or there's a talking filibuster. And what this is supposed to be is to try to find a way to bring the attention that there is a disdain or a dislike in a bill that's coming up for voting. Typically, a filibuster doesn't really change the amount or change the actual result of the vote, but what it does is it helps to have somebody take a stand for what their opinions are or what they're expressed their ideas. Again, we'll talk about that in just a few moments. In this section, I want to show you some of the more recent videos of some Senate votes, how they came about, some of the cautious ideas, and of course the filibuster, and how that's affected the way we interact today.